News. Knewz. Oh, how cool. That was very tricky of you. News. Oh, I get it. Poised to strike. Okay, this is fear mongering. I don't know who this expert is, they quote. Poised to strike. Putin will undoubtedly, look it up in the dictionary. Putin will undoubtedly use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Top Harvard expert claims. Well, those guys all claimed that the war would be over in 6 days, too, didn't they? Let me tell you why he will not use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine isn't worth it. Ukraine isn't worth it. Crimea isn't worth it. The Donbass region's not worth it. Okay? The juice you're going to get from that squeeze will be bitter. He would literally be looked at as a pariah. He would have no further allies. China, India, no one would speak to them because they would understand that the rest of the world would look at them as accomplices. He will not use nuclear weapons unless he is attacked by nuclear weapons. Who's he going to get to push the button? Let me tell you what will happen if Putin issues an order to military commanders to use nuclear weapons. Let me ask you, Mr. Harvard expert, where is he going to use them? Under what circumstances is he going to use them? Is Ukraine going to take all of their military might and power and put it in one spot and say, if you destroy this, then we'll no longer fight you? Is that what's going to happen? You do understand that Russia and Ukraine have a border together, right? I mean, Harvard expert, please explain to me, in what situation is he going to use, obviously, although it's not stated here, what would be a tactical nuclear weapons? What, 1 to 5 kilotons? Is that what it would be? That's what tactical nuclear weapons are. Is that what it's going to be? Is it going to be a Hiroshima-sized nuclear device? 25 megatons or 25 kilotons? Is it going to be a thermonuclear weapon using megatons? I don't see any of this pertinent information here, Mr. Harvard expert. Where's he going to use it? What tactical advantage would he gain from using what? He's going to nuke all of fucking Ukraine? Is that what's going to happen? He's going to live with the fact that everyone now looks at Russia as someone they're not going to get any food, they're not going to get any material, they're not going to get any trade, they're not going to get any financial. I mean, you name it. They will become the pariah of the history of the world. It will destroy Russia. Now, this is your problem, Harvard expert. Let me see if I can find this fucking guy's name. Nope. See, this is the shit here. News with a Z. According to a recent report by a Harvard Kennedy School expert. No fucking name. Oh my God. This is just fucking scare tactics. News with a Z. The juice is not worth the squeeze. There is a reason why nuclear weapons have not been used, even under way worse circumstances than this. Remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, Mr. Harvard expert? In what circumstances is he going to use? What, he's going to nuke Bakhmut with his own guys there? Do you think that the world wouldn't see if he pulled everybody out of an area so that he could nuke it? Do you think the world wouldn't see that with modern satellites and all the surveillance that's going on? Harvard expert? Unnamed Harvard expert? A recent report. I don't see that report. I don't see a link to the report. I don't see shit. These guys are just full of fucking crap trying to scare people. That's what they're doing, okay? Most likely, this guy has his head up his ass who's writing the article. He's citing something, out of context. I don't know. Okay, but I can tell you right now, there's no top Harvard expert that's going to Undoubtedly. Look it up in the dictionary, Dave Mallion from News with a Z. There is no top Harvard expert that's going to tell you that there is a benefit to using a nuclear weapon in Ukraine. Not. They're already having problems. Okay, did you hear about what happened to the tourist plane that landed in their neighbor's airport? A lot of guys fled Russia. And they went to the countries that basically surround Russia. And there's no love for Russians anywhere in the world. You see, Russians are all convinced by their own propaganda, just like they thought people would be throwing flowers at them, and they took their fucking dress uniforms with them so they could have a parade. That's how far out their thinking was from reality. Okay? No, none of these top 20 generals in Russia want to use nuclear weapons. None of the sane, normal people in Russia want to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. In Ukraine, for Christ's sakes. Maybe against the United States, if they were being attacked by the United States. If the United States military started bombing Russian soil, well, maybe then, and maybe not even then. The problem is the distance between the United States and Russia doesn't allow for a normal kind of conflict. That's why we have our conflicts in other countries. Remember Vietnam? Maybe not. Harvard expert. That doesn't exist. News with a Z. Russia is going to use nuclear forces. You see, that's just fear-mongering terror. There's no need to have an article like that, okay, that people can even read. It's bullshit. It's a lie. They didn't quote the study. They didn't quote the guy's name. It was just some random out of their head. Some guy at Harvard made a report that said this. Well, you should have given me a reference to the report so I could have looked at it. No, Russia is never, ever going to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, for Christ's sakes, okay? There's no tactical advantage. When I look at the situation right now, I can't see a tactical advantage. They'd have to wipe out half Russians and half Ukrainians, and what good does that do you? They're already suffering with everyone going, screw Russia, I'm not going back to fight for these bastards. You can hear what the prisoners are saying when they're being interviewed, okay? You can see the actual disdain they have, okay, for Vladimir Putin. This isn't some kind of show. You can see it and hear it in their voices. They're actually rather, pissed off and angry at how they've been treated. No, there will be no nuclear attack by Russia in Ukraine, okay? And any article you see that says that, they're full of shit with a Z.